Greetings, church. It's Kevin Duclairon, and I'm not sure if you can hear me from where I'm at. It's let's see. Today is the 22nd of April, 2018, and there's not a whole lot to say. Nothing has changed with Gabriel and John MacArthur. This morning I slept at the park, 2 parks, and was sexually assaulted twice by Gabriel in both parks. Afterwards, I went to McDonald's, got a cup of coffee. Let's see, went and got a cup of coffee and went to 24 hours. After the first assault, I went to the police department to try to file a report. The police put in an officer at the desk that I guess looked like and represented Gabriel. I didn't trust him, so I walked out. They've got cameras all around the park area. And the police lies and pretends that they don't know what I'm saying. I'm at war with their police department, no matter what this woman does. It's like a child. It's like a terrible 2 child. You know, it's mischief after mischief. Things that a child would do or a teenager would do against another teenager. You know, it's a consistent thing. It's never ending. The piercing, the cutting, the terrorizing, removing the teeth from this suit, this jacket. Oh, not this jacket. There's another jacket. Removing the groove here from jackets that they pulled out 2 other grooves. Shoes. You know, opening the sole of the shoes. Cutting in between the feet, the toes, you know, using a razor to cut off the flesh there, and then cutting in between the toes. Just let's see here. Yeah, I'm using this. This as a light. This is a light. It's a temporary thing. It's a consistent thing every single day. I think I might have told you guys that I went down to Eugene for a couple of days after I was hit. I want to show you something. For Easter, I had made this sign here. This is the sign. This is the Easter sign. There. This is the Easter sign. It was done on Resurrection Sunday. It says, Happy Resurrection Day, Matthew 28, Easter 2018. Make Jesus your Lord today. And then here at the bottom, it says, life is an introduction to knowing and spending eternity with God. Okay, and then at the bottom here it says the New Testament Church, and then you see my name and my position there. The following day, this was April Sunday. I don't know if you could see it there, but then the following day I put this on there: go and sin no more, repent and be forgiven. John 8:11. And over here, I put January 1st to December 31st. We should be celebrating the resurrection of Christ. And then down here, I put ascension, return, rapture, judgment, 1,000-year reign with Christ. And then here, but you must be born again, John 3. Let's see here, John 3 through 36. Here, I added, not MacArthur or sin. Make Jesus your Lord today, not MacArthur or sin. Well, John lost it and sent 2 American women, an older woman probably in her 70s and 80s. She was trying to play the role of Mary Ann, my mother. She lost it. And then they sent another woman who was probably a little bit younger. For some reason, she reminded me of one of those singers, Pink, I think her name is. Not sure why, but I think she was probably representing Melinda. And they started calling me the N-word, trying to stop me from preaching this. They didn't want this. They didn't want this at all. And remember the other sign that I had for Easter, the one with, let's see if I could find that one. See here. Well, apparently it just disappeared. I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, the point being that the fact that it had the photograph of the Christ on it, the resurrected Christ, the resurrection, it was rejected, and they wouldn't allow me to upload the photos and complete the video. Uploading just opposition after opposition. I think the whole point of them was trying to remove me out of the city as a preacher. They don't want a preacher in the city, they want sadists in the city. After I came into contact with the Klan, or the spirit of the Klan, the spirit of opposition on Multnomah Seminary's property last month, for some reason the sadists have been coming out more and more. I had turned to their sites to basically remind the school that's where the opposition is, and I sort of felt like that was the spirit that was coming out of the school. But I don't know. Doesn't seem like the Lord wants the people of the city to be saved. You know what I mean? He doesn't want them to. It's like there's no salvation. These people oppose the gospel left and right. This here is huge opposition. They prefer the spirit of the devil and doing the work of the devil than anything else. Before I came today I was just at the Southern Ministry, and I was briefly reading. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that has happened. I don't think you need to hear all of it. I went down to Eugene, and pretty much every night that I was down there at the Eugene mission, she was using me. I had to come out on the Gentile side. I had to match their sin, and that's no good for any church minister to do. They've got all the dirty work. Every dirty sin that has ever been committed, they know. Every filthy, nasty, unclean thing, they know. They're aware of it. But the ministry, they never make mention of it. I could preach 10,000 sermons, not once would they have said anything about it. And I'm talking about in the churches here in Portland. But if I had gone to one porn store for 15, 10, 20 minutes and done that for someone, that would be the talk of the church. The fact that I went to the store and did that. But as far as me doing the ministry, for some reason or another, ministry is not of interest, especially of me. I spend more time with gay people than I do with Christian people. I spend more time dealing with them than I do with the body of Christ. I remember the last time I took communion with the body. There is no body to take communion with in Portland. Sometimes you go to these churches and you don't know if you're talking to the church or the devil in the church. The devil that's running the congregation. But I thought this was interesting this morning. I was in Romans in this ministry, this liberation ministry. And I won't read you the entire thing. It says here that, talking about Abraham in chapter 4, it says, "A father of many nations have I made you in the presence of him who believed, even God, who gives life to the dead and calls into being that which does not exist." And then he says in verse 18, "In hope against hope he believed, so that he might become a father of many nations, according to that which had been spoken, so shall your descendants be." Here's it says, "Without becoming weak in faith, he contemplated his own body. Now as good as dead." Yeah, that's what it said. Now as good as dead. Since he was about 100 years old, and in the deadness of Sarah's womb, yet with respect to the promise of God, he did not waver in unbelief, but he grew strong in faith, giving glory to God. That's the part I thought was really interesting. He says that he did not waver in unbelief, but grew strong in faith. And it was credit to him. And then verse 20 says, "And it was credit to him as righteousness." I thought that was pretty fascinating. Verse 20, that he grew strong in faith. He grew strong in faith. How many people lose their faith after 20 years of preaching and not getting one convert? How many people grow weak in faith and they stop believing and stop practicing the Christian faith because people no longer want to believe and want to act on their faith. And no longer want to be a part of the faith. And some people are even driven out of the faith. Driven out of the faith as a result of it. Anyway, I'm trying to think here. This is a quick update. There's not a whole lot going on. Ecclesiastes, I haven't continued. I haven't heard from YouTube. I had emailed them twice, and they won't remove the blockage from Sermon 7. That was done at the public. They won't remove it. So I was waiting for them to say, waiting for them to remove it so that I could continue the series, but I haven't heard from them. I've already emailed them twice. They haven't said a word. So at this point, I have to move forward without, I might have to redo number 7 on inside, and then redo number 7 on the inside, and then come back and then continue with Sermon 8, so that we'll just finish it all. Still waiting for the W-2. The W-2s were finally sent from, I think, People Ready, Labor Ready. And I received those, filed it, so now I'm just waiting for them to see. Either they have to send me a check from the tax returns, or they have to send me a bill saying that I owe taxes. I haven't heard anything from them. It's been like 3 weeks. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. I sent an email to, I went to the Board of Education here in Portland against MacArthur. The Board of Education turned me over. I think the guy's name was Paul something. I can't remember his name. Paul something from the Board of Education. Hold on a second here. Let's see if I could find his name. No, can't find his name. Guess I lost the paperwork, but went to the Board of Education and spoke to him and to see if I could remove John out of the background because of all the stuff that he was doing. And he basically passed on my report to Paul Anthony, I think his name was. I'm not sure. He told me to go to the Multnomah Courthouse District Attorney's Office and talk to Eric Zimmerman. I emailed Zimmerman. He never got back to me. Zimmerman works together with the police department, and the police department didn't do anything. None of the reports amounted to anything. So Zimmerman and the district attorney's office and the Board of Education and the police department are protecting MacArthur, are protecting John, his reputation, and so are the churches. You can't have nothing on John in this country. I mean, John murders and kills people, and they blow it off after a number of years. They're still doing it that way. Can't do anything about it. The man has money and he has influence. So, John, I started working on. I finally uploaded the 2014 works, but unedited, completely unedited. MacArthur has erased a lot of it, a good portion of it. The summary for 2017, I started working on it. He took my flash drive and erased pages that were there. So I sent an email to TMS, the Master Seminary staff. TMS protects MacArthur. The staff does, and they never responded. They don't respond to me with respect. These people treat me more like I'm a devil than anything else. You know, they don't respect poor black trash out of the Caribbean. So MacArthur gets away with murder. He gets away with stealing, destroying, sabotaging, pretty much anything. You know, the homosexual community or the Klan or whoever those people are that support him. Anyway, I didn't intend to do the update in here, but while I'm in here, I've got some stuff that I need to do real quickly here before I leave. I can't stay here, but I can talk for a few minutes and then get on with my day. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much everything that's been done up to this point. 2017 has already been hit and sabotaged. 2018 I haven't touched yet, except for that video, the last one, Sermon 7, has been. Now they know how to put an end to the work, is by basically putting somebody else's work, like from a radio station, you know. Now they're saying it's copywritten and therefore it's been blocked. So I have to do it over again without the blockage. And that's going to be a pain in the neck because it's just a repeat of the same work. In any case, that's pretty much it. I got to get going here. I got to grab my stuff, organize some things, and and then be on my way. That's pretty much where this cross here is from. The old apartment. What is it? The one before Gretchen Kafour Commons back in 2015. If you look through the videos on iPage, they completely took control over iPage. They control iPage from the back. They control all the computer work. They sabotage everything. It's a mess. It makes you feel discouraged. That's why that verse I read to you. I read to you that verse. I can't get this to just stay there without blinking. That verse I read to you from Romans 4, that Abraham did not waver in unbelief. It discourages the heart, It challenges you whether or not you're going to keep believing despite all of the opposition and the hate, Yesterday, I had to, the day before, I had to, I don't have it here in front of me. I had to use this sign. I use this sign here. I don't know if you can read the sign. This sign here. In order for me to earn this. And what I had, the issue, that was, today is Sunday. That was Friday night. I had this sign. They gave me like $18. No, less than that, 16. And I used it to buy breakfast and lunch and whatnot. I can't go and look for another job until I'm done with Labor Ready. And the hotels will not respond to the applications. And yesterday I had to come out again because they came out on me, and I had to basically remind them that there's 2 or 3 ways to make money in this country. You either earn it, steal it, or ask for it, right? Since they took me out of the earning industry, that's the job, then I have to ask for it or I have to steal it, and I'm not a thief. So they got pretty teed off that I made mention of it, and so now I'm just dealing with it, dealing with what they put on my plate. And they give you 50 cents and they think like, they're giving you the whole world. It's this big deal. They gave you 50 cents, they gave you money. Meanwhile, they're grossing $120 per day, right? But yet they can't walk by and put a penny, a nickel, dime, or a quarter, in your hat, right? They can't put a penny, nickel, dime, or quarter in your hat, but yet, it's a big deal. They send you to the store, to the gay store, the sex store, I call it the fuck store, to go have sex with their bottoms. And I'm like, hey, you know what? If I stick my finger up your butt, money's not going to come out of it. If I jerk you off, money's not going to come out of that either. So what's the point of all the sex? What is the point? It doesn't make any sense. They were kind of vexed and pissed off, and their response was basically to send Gabriel to do that, and then send me to the store to have sex with men that look like John and with the body of Gabriel. That's how they respond. I mean, they're really hard. They're really harsh. They're really hateful. And it's always sin, Where's the south? Oh, here we go. Where's the salvation of God in Portland? There is no salvation of God in Portland, not in the leaders, nor the congregation. And in the streets, it's, you don't know when you're going to get hit or who's going to hit you next. It's always threatening. They never respond in faith. They always respond in hate. You need to leave Portland and you can't stay here. We don't want it. You're not a leader. So it's like, wow. So when you read that in the text about Abraham and how he did not waver in unbelief, even as a 100-year-old man, that right there is, I think, the core struggle for every Christian. Don't lose your faith. Be an Abraham. And no matter what happens, keep to the faith. Father, may you bless the faith of all the church. Amen.